Welcome to class today, everybody. We had a big change in weather in Michigan this week. It went from very pleasant, if a bit warm, fall weather. I was really you couldn't even really wear a jean jacket, which I feel like is not fair.
Yeah.
And then it just dove right into highs in the low 50s all week, which is more than jean jacket. So it's like my jean jacket's sitting on the floor just being like, "Wear me." Not that I don't hang up my clothes. So there are some things that happen when the weather changes, and there are some things specific to the metal element that happen. But rather than soak in some vibes this morning, I think we'd better shake some stuff out. So we're going to start with shaking. So yeah, shaking. Such a natural thing to do. If like my husband likes to grab the cat for snuggles, puts the cat down, the cat goes, you know, like, whoa, what was that? Um, just shaking it out. You gotta shake it out. So we'll start. You don't have to stand any particular way. We're only gonna trying to go sort of top down so we get a full body shake. And to start, we want to I like to shake the jaw to start because there's a lot of tension in there, and it to help you get that out. I clasp your hands kind of at the height of your jaw and jiggle those hands and then try to loosen your jaw like that. Now you got a nice jaw jiggle. Okay. And once we've got control of that, you can just kind of keep going with that loose jaw, but shake your shoulders. You can make noise. Making noise is encouraged. Whatever comes out. We're shaking the elbows and the wrists and all the fingers. That's right. Now shake your rib cage and your waist and start shaking your hips. You can even pick up one leg at a time and just shake it down to the knee and the what's that? Ankle. I can't think of the word ankle because I'm just shaking so much. Shake. And finally, we want to do just some bouncing. Let your heels just hit the ground and shake stuff out from your fingertips and just oh, and that's traditional Chinese medicine. I love it. Okay, so now that we're nice and shooken out, we are going to stand with our feet parallel and shoulder width. And I think it's time to take a few centering breaths. Breathe in, inflate that belly. Breathe out and deflate. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in and out. All right. Now we're going to start with our Peaceful Dragon Rising form. So we're going to take a nice breath in and breathing out, look down at the floor. Just continue to breathe naturally. Bring the head up and look up at the ceiling. Feel your nice stretch in that neck. And look forward. We're going to tilt the head to one side. Keep breathing into that space you're creating in your neck. And bring the head up. Tilt the head to the other side. And bring the head up. And turn the head all the way to one side, looking over the shoulder. Keep breathing. Bring the head forward. And turn that head to the other side. Breathe into that stretch. And bring the head forward. Shift the weight to one side, turn the foot out, and bend at the waist. Nice stretch in your lower back. And breathing in, roll back up. Straighten those feet. Shift. Now go on to the other side. Breathing out, bend at the waist. And breathing in, come on up. Center, flex, extend. And circle the arms. Come up in front, around, and now you're going to relax and hug a tree. And push those palms up to the ceiling for a big stretch. You also kind of clench in your bottom here, hitting an acupressure point at the base of your torso. And let the hands float down till they're parallel to the ground. Shift your weight to one side, pick one foot up for balancing. Set that foot down, shift your weight over here, balancing, and set it down. And we'll swing the arms, turning at the waist, tapping your kidneys in the back. My shoulders are a bit tight today, and I hadn't noticed till just now. Let's deepen this with a weight shift and a pivot. So there's a bit less of a waist turn in this one because we're just turning our whole body. When I do this with my senior citizens, we just do this one so that they don't hurt their back. All right, and let's calm that down. Now it's shoulder time. This should be interesting for me. I'm stiff today. Let's roll our shoulders back. Nice and slow. And let's roll them forward. And shake them out. Oh, that's good. Clasp the fingers in front, push forward. And release. Clasp the fingers behind, push down and away from the body. And release. Oh, not so bad, not so bad. And we're going to turn one foot out for stability. Shift all of our weight into that foot. Pick the other foot up and rotate it 10 times in one direction. And 10 times the other way. And set that foot down at an angle. Shift your weight over there. And we go 10 times with the other foot. And let's go 10 times the other way. I'm losing my balance a little bit. I'm watching my own foot in the camera. Very distracting. All right, let's step forward with that foot. Shift your weight into it and bend the toes behind you. Just bend those against the ground. And set the foot down, shift your weight back. We're going to pick these toes up a little bit and stretch down the front leg. Breathe into the stretch and breathing out, just try to relax into that movement. Okay, let's come on up. Switch the feet, step forward, shift your weight, and bend the back toes. And set the foot down, shift your weight back, and stretch down the leg. Breathe and relax. All right, let's come on up. We're going to switch the feet again, shift your weight forward, point the toes in the back this time, and release the muscles in your hips and your legs, letting the ground support your weight. Set the foot down, pick the toes up, push the hips back, and lean forward for a nice stretch in the calf. All right, let's come on up. Switch the feet, shift forward, point the toe behind, relax, center, and we'll set the foot down, shift back, hips back, lean forward, calf stretch. Remember to breathe and relax. And let's come on up. Okay, now, Mom, you don't know this yet, but we have an extra move that we've added for middle season, and it is grasping air. So we're going to start by stretching one hand out from the shoulder, and we're turning the body a little bit to do this. Grasp some air, bring it straight back to lung one, which is right here, feeding that air with the mouth of your thumb. So that's one. We'll do two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we're going to switch to grasping the air from behind. Take this hand, bring it up, around the back, scoop up some air, and let it fall towards your chest. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, lovely. And my feet have gotten a little bit out of parallel, so I'm going to adjust that. Bring my hands in front like I'm holding the big bowl. I'm relaxed down. Now breathing in, push up and push down, stretching your shoulder blades away from each other. And relax. And breathing in, we'll do the other side. And relax. All right. Bow and arrow, stretch one arm out, keep the other elbow high, and pull your shoulder blades together in the back. And release. And other side. Shoulder blades together. And relax. Clasp the fingers, push down, swing them up. And release. Relax down. Bring the hands to the belly. Straighten up. And the hands are going to trace inside the legs, around the toes, up the back of the legs, to the small of your back. Look up and breathe out. Okay. Snake creeps down. Turn one foot out. We're going to keep our weight in the back foot. Step forward. And the back of the hand goes down the leg, out in front, up. Make your beak. Return it to the nest. And switch the feet. Breathing out, go down. Breathing in, come up. Breathing out, return that bird to the nest. Breathing in, let's switch the feet. Sweep the grass, breathe out. Breathing in to switch the feet and sweep the grass. Oh, and now rub your kidneys. We've done it. Oh, okay. All right. That's definitely a shaky outy thing. Okay, I'm going to bring Mom back so we can have a little
Oh,
reflection time. I'm just going to sit down. We're not going to do anything in particular, but we're going to talk about metal. Whew. Okay. Hi. Thanks for being here today. All right. So as I'm talking, I'll just invite us to breathe. Metal is the lungs, the large intestine. Metal is very important to know what you're doing with breath. Um, those stretches we did, the first set, we're bringing our air into lung one, which, Mama, if you haven't, you've found it before. We got it right there. Yeah, yeah. So we're just going to start with some breathing so you can be breathing while I'm reflecting on the elements. So take a nice breath in and expand your belly. Deflate, you breathe out. Breathing in. Out. Breathing in. Nourishment. And breathing out the toxic gases that no longer serve you. Breathing in and out. So, a metal thing that happened to me this week was my skin went crazy. The lungs and large intestine are connected to the skin. They rule it in some way. And in part, this is to do with the idea of the lungs being, the first source of life, the first breath you take as a baby being how you start your chi formation, and the skin being the thing that separates you from the world. There's a connection between those two concepts. But also, as I think about our emotion of grief and the way Qigong prompts us to appreciate what we have, hold on to what's important, and shed what lets go, what let go what we need to shed, however we want to say it. What a better metaphor than skin. There are all sorts of ways you can go wrong with your skin. You can try to take off too much. It doesn't work. You can forget to try to take off any of your skin and you get gunky and ashy and bad. And this is the season where those issues start to come up. So another really fascinating thing about the way the elements in the seasons are arranged is when an element is dominant, it's a great time for the things connected with that element to go wrong.
Mm.
um, it's a wonderful time to work on them to strengthen your response to these elemental twists and turns, the forces at work, the yin and the yang. But it similar to when we talk about having an elemental constitution. If I am, say, ruled by the earth element, whose emotion is worry, I might struggle a lot with worry. It's not that I'm really good at it because I have an earth constitution. It might be one of the biggest problems in my life because I have an earth constitution, right? Um, and as the metal element sets in, I got a fun little dermatitis flare up on my face this week, and I'm thinking, whoops, it's the metal element. And what do you do about it? I'm past the exfoliation stage that was so popular in the 90s and aughts. Um, I no longer believe I have to strip my skin bare every day. But also it requires maintenance. You need to wash it of its impurities and to moisturize it, which is very qigong. We're always trying to wash away anything we don't need and to make sure that we are nourished by what we do need. Um, and I did my best. It's fading now. It's going okay, but it requires a lot of attention. I have to take all my lotions and creams to work with me, so that every few hours I can duck into the bathroom to make sure everything's okay. Um, And this is a season where a lot of the big feelings that we're feeling um,
Yeah.
might take a lot of attention and care, and a lot of lotions and creams, and
Yeah.
the right mix of exfoliation and hydration. Right? Um, you can't go too hard or it's going to hurt and it's going
Yeah.
to turn bright red and you're not going to look great. Um, but you also need to remember to give the skin what it needs. Um, I I work with graduate students who've come from all over the country and the world. I gave them a brief talk a couple weeks ago about hand lotion and chapstick. They needed to start
In
doing
Michigan.
now in Michigan. It is much easier to prevent your skin from cracking than to heal
Yeah.
it after it does. So that's metal for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're paying attention. Just
Yeah.
takes a lot of care this time of year. Take care of yourselves. Yeah, that's what I got. That's my reflection. Anything you'd like to add?
My skin went nuts this past couple of weeks too, so I understand.
And we are related. I think we even
Yeah.
get our dermatitis in the same place.
Yeah, I think so too.
But yeah, keep that
Yeah.
eczema approved lotion handy. Just keep going with it. All right, so we have some acupressure we can do. I This was really fun because I'm a researcher and a qigong practitioner, and every once in a while I have a qigong question that there's not like an easy, like I can find it in a book or Google it answer. So I actually had to do research to find these 4 points that are good for skin. Um, but I'm very happy with them. So we've got a couple old friends in the mix. I'll explain on Preston first. Okay. It is, of course, lung and large intestine season for skin. So 3 out of these 4 will be lung and large intestine points. The last one's kind of a um, wild card. Well, I don't even know why it works. It apparently just does. And honestly, the whole skin thing went better after I started adding in the acupressure. So, um, okay. So the first one I should have known is large intestine 4. On the hand, our old friend. The second one we have also done recently because it's our good friend, the immunization lung or large intestine 11, the pluck one in the elbow. Now, here's the fun thing. So, large intestine 11 is right here on the fleshy part, the side of the
Uh-huh.
elbow. There is a lung point here,
Oh.
here. So, it's on our little elbow. So, my large intestine 11 is here. Like if I bend my arm, it's like right there. But then if I come in and I can feel the big tendon running through my elbow.
Uh-huh.
It's still on the thumb side, so it's quite close to large
Okay.
intestine 11, but that's lung 5. And in fact, I think for our skin purposes, we can just take them both and apply firm pressure. And we don't need to pluck, well, you can pluck it too, but that's more for the immune system. And for skin, we can just press and you can do the other side. You can probably still do both at the same time if you have enough
Yeah.
flexibility. And I have been, meanwhile, playing around with large intestine 4 because as helpful as it is for many of the things I struggle with, I find it less than satisfying to rub because it doesn't hurt. It doesn't necessarily feel like a spot to me. I don't get the feedback from it. So I have been finding that it helps if in fact I just take my thumb and let the other hand kind of fly free. For some reason, that gives me a little bit more of a like kinetic satisfaction rather than trying to like hold it while it's in my hand. It just never quite works for me. So I've been doing like a little flying hand rub of large intestine 4. If that helps you, everybody's got their own mileage, right? Okay, so we've got these 3 down. The last one, total wild card, no idea where it came from, but it's on the bladder meridian, and the bladder meridian is the wild card meridian. It does unexpected things, such as move up and down your back over and over and over again. So this is bladder 40, is right behind the knee. Here, I'll show you a little
Okay.
better.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's when you feel it, it's right in the giant tendon. What is that we're touching, Mom?
I can't remember.
Okay. She doesn't remember. And the funny thing about the bladder meridian is like this is bladder 40 and bladder 41 is here. Why? I don't know. It plays by its own rules. But you don't need to know where bladder 41 is. It's not important for our purposes. But this bladder 40 point behind the knees is our fourth and final skincare point. Now, if your skincare is focused on the face, as many of ours is, though the whole body needs attention this time of year, um, there is also like a tapping and massage routine you can do that, of course, the internet thinks is like better than Botox or whatever. I don't know. Um,
Yeah.
but we're not going to do that right now because I don't want to touch my hands to my face without having washed them. So I can put that as a video on the internet.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That sounds good.
Okay, great. All right, and that's our acupressure.
Okay.
All
Yay.
right, yay. Large intestine 4, large intestine 11, lung 5, bladder 40. Wild, wild stuff. Yay. All right. For our movement today, we have selected something from the wild goose form. And in the spirit of everything we're talking about, this is called Pat the Water and Fly Away. It's a movement that feeds energy right near, what do you know it, lung 1, while at the same time, the other hand is going to be releasing energy. So we are a goose in the wild goose form, and we're doing this very elegant thing that some waterfowl do. We're scooping up a little water and spreading it into our wings and doing the other side. So I've been working on turning this into more of a moving meditation. In the wild goose form, we do it 3 times and we call it a day. Move on with the flow. Um, but I think we can make it more of a like gently moving forward and meditative movement. But first, we need to learn it. So it is going to have a stance where one foot is a little in front of the other, and they are pointed in somewhat different directions. I think you're doing just fine there. And there is going to be a weight shift. So when we come forward, we're going to pick the back heel up. And when we shift our weight back, here's the tricky part. We're going to pick our front heel up. Yeah. You want to maybe pick your toes up, but that's not right. We're geese. And we're tiptoeing geese. So we're going to practice that a little bit. Shift forward, pick the back heel up. Shift back, pick the front heel up. And when you get used to it, it actually feels very natural. There's something kind of nice about having that toe pointed in front, a stability that wouldn't be there if you picked the toe up instead of the heel, right? It's
Absolutely.
nice. Yeah, it's nice and smooth. All right. Okay, that's good. That's good. Now, you suspect as much, but we're going to flutter our hands. And the movement of the flutter is meant to be centered on that lovely pericardium 8 point in roughly the middle of the palm. So you think about your hands kind of moving with that as the pivot. And one hand, as we start, we're going to just sort of bring the hands up so that one is, I'm going to step forward even a little bit to make this clearer on the video. One is feeding lung one and the shoulder gateway generally, and the other, this one, is shedding energy that we don't need, dirty water, algae. I don't know what's in ponds, um, but we don't need it. And so, as I take my stance, when we are on this side, when our hands are on the side of the forward foot, our weight is in the forward foot. And then to get out of this pose, we're going to do a little sweep, and you can make this as sort of flourished as you want. You can kind of and you have shifted back with your heel of your front foot up, and the foot in back is the one with your weight in it because your hands are on that side. So to take that transition a little more slowly this time, our hands are going to make a nice swishy movement, and then they're going to stay fluttering slow motion as we change. And then about here, my heel is coming down and I'm shifting forward, picking up the back heel, and now I'm here. And we stay here for a second. It's not a completely continuous motion. We want to take a moment to arrive here. And then swoosh, and the heels change as the weight shifts. And then swoosh, and then swoosh. And here's the thing. Here's where I'm going to complicate it. Now we're going to set that heel down and our hands are going to stay active and do this. And we're going to step forward. Is that the wrong way? The hand should be on the other side. Oh no, it's fine because we're just going to step forward and shift our weight. See, I've been working on this. This is an invention. It's not perfect yet. And then we're going to swoosh and swoosh and swoosh. And now the hands are over here. So we're going to step forward and shift that weight forward. And suddenly we're in the right position again. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. So it's 3 swooshes. And then see, there's a moment in the form where you would step forward, but you wouldn't still be doing this with your arm. So that's where I'm coming from. Shift the weight, the heels change, and swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Okay, let's take a break there because we've complicated this motion a bit at this point. Sometimes you need to let the body take a second to catch up with what you're doing. Um, and also, any of these motions where we're doing something swooshy with our arms, it becomes a bit of an arm workout. So you want to stay fresh. Luckily, there's no particular breathing that I'm trying to enforce here, so we're not getting that added element of exhaustion. Because anything with breathing, you want to make sure that you don't overdo. Um, but here we can breathe pretty naturally, though. There, when we're swooshing, the breath kind of does its own thing. Okay, so let's reset and just try to go through, let's say, 3 sets. So one side for like other side. 3 feels like the right number for this. So even though we're going to then be doing more on one side of our body, I think it'll be fine. So, um, one foot is forward. We're going to shift our weight into that foot and just nicely swoosh your arms up to the shoulder. And we're going to swoosh, shifting the weight, swoosh, and swoosh. And now shift your weight and step and shift your weight forward, picking up the back heel and swoosh and swoosh and swoosh. Now shift your weight, step, shift your weight forward, pick up the back heel and swoosh, swoosh, and swoosh. And there you are. You can flutter your little hands down, quiet the hands, and you've done a little cleansing and hydration for the soul. All right, let's do a breathing to close. It's breath season. So nothing fancy here. We're just gonna think about our dantians, our nourishment center. So we have our hands clasped over our dantians. Just gonna breathe and inflate that belly under your hands. And breathe out. Let the hands sink back towards the body. Breathe and inflate the belly. And breathe out. Now, keeping your mind where your hands are. As you breathe in, just think about all the nourishment you're bringing in from the air around you. And as you breathe out, letting go of everything that just won't do anymore. Breathing in and out. Breathing in that oxygen that keeps every cell in your body thriving. And breathing out what your body has transformed into something someone else can use. That someone being trees. Breathing in nourishment and out something you don't need, but will be nourishment for something else. Breathing in and out. In and out. Take another big breath in. Relax and release it out. Another big breath into your dantian and out. And you can release your hands, close that up. And thank you.